That's right, folks, it's time for an update video. Let's reset this track and get into it. It's been a month, and a month filled to the brim with content. Let's talk a little bit about it over this past month. Things were quite turbulent. While I was continuing to go through the Dragon Ball marathon, some drama happened around me. Now, I've done several takes of this video because of this, and it really sucks that I didn't just unlist the Iris posting related video. And I always feel compelled to be like, no, I dealt with some bad stuff here. It becomes that bit of a problem, right? Where you deal with something that gives you really high anxiety, a thing where a bunch of people came out of the woodwork to call me racist, to call me a Nazi, to say that I was, quote, retarded for not reacting fast enough to being sexually harassed by someone. A lot of stuff like that from people who've never met me, who know nothing about me, but see me as someone trying to bury someone who is more disadvantaged based on things they did as an adult that abused me in some way and abused other people. And it just comes off really rough. It's a hard thing to deal with, and I'm gonna scroll up because I'm gonna be honest, I don't even look at the screen where that part of the video is, because it does trigger me a bit. It puts me back into that zone that I was in during that video, which was, I don't script anything, I don't even put bullet points on things, I just kind of panic my way through it. Much in the way that I panic the way through all of content that I do. Ugh. Yuck. Anyway, we finished up the Dragon Ball marathon. It was many games and many hours long. We culminated with some of the more hyped up ones for me, like people were talking about Dragon Ball Z Sagas. Of course, we checked out a bit of Fighters. I had never really dug into their story mode. I didn't realize it was one of the worst story modes in all of fighting games. That was crazy. We also did some Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, played through that whole game and played at least one of its DLCs, and that was a great time. But it was quite long. We're looking at a 6-hour stream, a 7, a 9, a 7. That's way bigger than us going through a fighting game Dragon Ball game, and it's like, we're out of here in 3 hours. They're done. This was like attempting to be a full-ass RPG for the series, which I respect immensely. Then we jumped into Metaphor Refantagio, which, not much to say on this one. It was 11 streams. Views weren't amazing on it as they were happening because obviously people were dodging spoilers. I thought I'd talk a little bit about this, but not too deeply, because on various other takes I spend way too much time talking about this. The power of scripting could change everything about productivity in my life, I think. Views weren't amazing because it's a new release, but my general thought process and the way I do things is I go, one, people watch the VOD. Obviously they do. The views on it are pretty okay. You know, the first one also does pretty damn good as well, because people are pushing through the game. I try to avoid spoilers. I try to avoid something even worse than spoilers that have discourse attached to them. I think about when the second God of War reboot game came out, Ragnarok, and people were showing clips of a late game boss fight because they wanted to complain about the characters in the game telling you what to do, and I'm like, can I experience the game first? Why do I have to see clips of a game that I haven't finished yet because someone has to complain about it? There's nothing worse than someone going, I've decided that this thing in the game that's later in the game annoyed me, so I'm gonna spoil you because I've decided that it no longer has value. And I'm like, I need you to die! So to avoid that, and the fact that I barely watched any trailers for Metaphor, I'm like, we're playing it like we're a reviewer on deadline. And I just rolled through it 11 days straight. I lived this game. I woke up, went, how fast can I get my voice up to par and get this coffee absorbed in my body so that I can play more? We play until I feel exhausted, where I'm like, this is a good spot. Let's get out of here. I'll take my medications, my edibles and whatnot, and conk out so that I can wake up as early as possible to do more. And that's kind of the zone we were in for 11 streams playing the game on hard difficulty, and I did like 98% of the side quests too. The only ones I missed out on were the ones I didn't have time for. There were like 2 super boss ones that lead into one last thing, and there was one cooking one that I didn't do. But aside from that, we did the whole thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also made sure to be nice about spoilers here on the channel with it. Every single thumbnail here that wasn't key art is vistas that you see in the game as you travel. And very generic titles. And whenever I picked a scenic shot, I tried to pick the latest one that I got in the stream to kind of go to people, hey, if you haven't seen this, don't click on this one yet, you know? Try my best to help out people with that, generally, because these games are special, and I want people to be able to retain their first impression, their first experience with them the way I am. So, try my best to do that a little bit, even if it probably isn't as SEO friendly as maybe showing you the hype boss I fought in part 9 or something. Did I even fight an epic boss fight in part 9? I don't know, it's all a blur. This is 11 days. Who knows what's in some of these? Fucking even I can't tell because of the scenic shots. Anyway, we did Sonic and Shadow Generations. That was cool. Sonic Generations is still Sonic Generations. I feel like I was way lower on it. Mainly because Planet Wisp is a bad level. It's terrible. It's just not good. But overall, I still really enjoy it. It's the best of that era of boost style games before Frontiers really changes and they get to make their final form, or their next evolution of it. Which is more of like a Sonic Adventure style, way more 3D movement. Your boost does make you boost quickly and stuff in that game, but it is not the main focus, because now the air boost is like now basically your third jump. And you have way more control over your movement, a lot of optional paths, and Shadow Generations level design's amazing. If that rumor that came out that I saw someone saying some shit like, the Sonic and Mario Olympic Games developers at Sega, well, when the Olympics decided not to make any more of these, which is a thing that was confirmed, that's why we don't have any more of those games, they were put on level design for Shadow, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. That being said, the level design in Shadow is the best it's ever been. Ludicrous amount of alternate paths to take that you can just see with your eyes, really rewarding, like, enemy placement. They even solved the issue that some people have with Sonic Frontier cyberspace levels, where, one, you're, sorry if I'm slurring, I'm talking too much, I'm spitting everywhere. You would avoid enemies to go fast, but now that builds into your chaos control meter, so it's really good. Just like they solved a lot of problems and made some updates to how the general game feels, where we're in there. It's really good. Aside from that, we did Super Mario Party Jamboree. Thoroughly enjoyed my time with it so far. We only did 2 boards. There are 7 of them. I haven't unlocked them all yet. We're definitely playing more of it this week, so please look out for that. And, man, I think that was it. Oh, yeah, we did Silent Hill 2 Remake. I wanted to find out if this game was good or not because it was very hard to tell initially. One, because Bloober Team was on it. They particularly were known for trend chasing on video game ideas constantly, and I heard nothing but horrible things about the medium. But their art design looked great. Even in the medium, I'm like, yeah, that's just what I would imagine Silent Hill-esque art design. Like, they have the chops for that. And then they got tapped for this, and I was worried that they might make a bad remake of this. And the reviews were good, but there was a lot of people trying to, like, course correct, or I guess change the conversation because a lot of fans were down on it. And when that happens, it kind of happened with FF16, where it feels like, is this real positivity, or is this positivity to fight back against negativity about the game for people who didn't play it, you know? So you gotta kind of step in, figure it out for yourself, and I decided to do that and solve the beef forever. Settled the score. The game's good. It's in fact too bloated because this was a 7 or 8 hour horror game that's been essentially doubled in size because it has significantly more combat. All of its main dungeons or areas you explore have been extended. Some places way too much, which kind of ruins the internal pacing the original always had. and all the puzzles have been replaced as well, which that isn't a negative necessarily, but there's a lot of things that have modernized it. It's a case of two cakes in a way, where both of these games are good, and the original is fantastic, but they're so vastly different. But people have their concerns about it because the original version is not playable on modern platforms, which it needs to be. They need to just do what the Metal Gear thing is doing, where we have a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, but you have a way to play that on multiple platforms, whether it's Xbox Back Compat or that Master Collection they start putting out. They just need to do one of those for Silent Hill, where it's like, all right, here's an emulator for 1, and then just, they just need to do the work and get 2 and 3 and 4 up onto modern platforms, so people will buy it, and then less people will be annoyed at the fact that the only way to play Silent Hill 2 is in this Resident Evil 4 modern gamification of that. That being said, I will say, the performances in Silent Hill 2 Remake, with the exception of a couple of scenes, immaculate. Genuinely insanely good. Particularly, I have to give chops to the voice stuff for Mary, for Eddie, and Angela as they stand out of, yes, this is a, like if I will be kind of like, I'll raise an eyebrow if at the Game Awards the voice actor for Angela does not go up for Performance of the Year in terms of like how well acted some of the stuff in there is. So, very nice surprise on that. That being said, don't play that game with headphones. It's very exhausting. That was fucking 15 hours of me feeling horrible. Man, I swear, I played a little bit of it off stream on my TV, and I'm like, oh, this is so much better. It's so much better. The evil meat monsters aren't inside my head. That helps quite a bit. Anyway, that's pretty much everything we covered here. And then, we did the Mario Party stuff, we did Metaphor, we did Sonic and Shadow, Silent Hill 2, a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff, and a little stream of Sparking Zero, and I dealt with harassment. So we hit up a little bit of everything, a little flavor for everything you might like. And now let's talk about what we got coming up. Well, first up, my birthday is the day after tomorrow. It's on Tuesday. Probably going to be streaming some more Super Mario Party Jamboree on that day, probably in the late afternoon, because tragically I know many of my friends won't be around, I imagine, earlier in the day, so I don't know if I could do like an all-day stream of that. I kind of want to do a playthrough of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga soon, because Brothership, the newest entry, is coming out, and I am not doing a marathon of a bunch of those games. I'm going to do what I did, like the Paper Mario one, where I played the first one, and then that gets us into that mode of, hey, I recently played it, let's play the newest one. It made more sense with Paper Mario, because it's the second game. This is like the 7th one. They did the 3, then they did Dream. This would be the 6th if you count Paper Jam. I wouldn't count Paper Jam. That's like the... That one doesn't seem too good to me. I don't know. I don't like the look of that one. Either way, we're doing a Superstar Saga, and then we're jumping into Brothership. Very excited for that. It looks awesome. Looks awesome. Can't wait to do it. We might be doing Dragon Age the Veilguard. We'll see. I don't know yet. The celestial beings will have to let me know at some point. Let's see. What else are we doing? We got Mario and Luigi Brothership. We got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I'm doing some more Super Mario Party Jamboree. What else am I doing in November? I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I don't know. I'm gonna try and do Dot Hack Mutation this coming month, just because I would like to finally dig into that. Here's hoping that now that I don't have any JRPG that I imagine is going to take me 80 hours, things will be easier, and no marathons will be in front of me. But that's how I'm doing. Sorry that there isn't a lot signposted for November, but things have been crazy over here. Thank you for your support. It really means a lot. It's been a rough month. They banned my Patreon this month for like a day. They're like, oh, I think suspicious activity's happening here, and I'm like, can you not? This has been the worst 30 days I've had in years, and it's been bad a few years. I immediately emailed them about it, and they went, oh, okay, it was a robot. They basically said, where they're like, thank you for helping our investigation. We've unbanned you 1 hour after our doors open the next day, which tells me a robot banned me and then nearly ruined my entire livelihood. Anyway, patreon.com/KZXcellent if you want to support me. I would appreciate it. Thank you. We got to get that in before they before they nuke me for some reason again. It's been a rough one. But I'll be back soon. I'll be back like tomorrow. I'm probably streaming tomorrow. But thank you, everybody. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. Goodbye.